Hello, everyone. This is going to be a remarkable special episode of the show with Slava Rubin, the founder and chief business officer of Indiegogo. So stick around. You don't want to miss this episode.
Welcome to the Your Mark on the World show with your champion of social good, Devin D. Thorpe.
Slava, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
We're thrilled to have you and grateful that you take the time for us because this is an important discussion we're eager to have. Indiegogo is a giant among the crowdfunding sites on the web today. Where did the idea come from? How did this start?
It goes back a while. So my two co-founders and I came up with the idea in 2006 in the fall, and then we researched it and came up with the actual build and launched in January 2008. So we're now just over a decade old, and we're proud of the fact that we're still around and have distributed well over $1.5 billion around the world to virtually every country that's out there. So supporting hundreds of thousands of entrepreneurs, and nearly 10 million backers have participated.
It's a remarkable thing, and it's part of a broader movement. What do you think it says about people in the world that this works?
I mean, historically, it was just large entities that had centralized power that got to decide what actually got funded or was made. It's really great to see that using the internet and things like Indiegogo, you're able to move the power to the people and have them help influence what actually gets funded and what gets created.
It is an interesting landscape these days. GoFundMe has been hugely successful as well. With a different, if you will, brand of crowdfunding. In fact, I think you sold some assets to GoFundMe, didn't you?
Well, we actually sold it to somebody else that ended up selling themselves to GoFundMe. That's correct.
Okay, sorry, I missed a step. But what do you make of this landscape and how people are choosing sites and, what's your take?
Yeah, crowdfunding is really just a big idea now, and there's different flavors of it. Indiegogo really focuses on the entrepreneur, and we try to support them to bring their ideas to life. We're really helping them find their customers, their first promotion, their first backers, and then supporting them throughout the process as they continue to get bigger and get more validation. So there are other flavors of crowdfunding, some more personal cause type that is what you mentioned with GoFundMe. We're really focused on helping to create entrepreneurs' dreams become a reality and have the millions of backers that use Indiegogo to help influence and be able to get early access on the most amazing new things out there in the world.
A lot of the work that you do has that social impact mindset to it. I mean, I think you and Danae and the rest kind of came at this with that mentality, not just to make money, but do some good in the world. How does that frame your decision making today?
Absolutely. Our theory was that there's a lot of people that are trying to do incredible things. They're just not getting approved for the funding because of the gatekeeper, the banker, the VC, or the grant institution getting to make the decision. We felt if we pushed that power to the people that they would see more reasons to fund certain things that could have a positive impact on the world, not just show clear profitability. So that's exactly the results we've seen. There have been hundreds of thousands of entrepreneurs that have been funded on Indiegogo. Many of them would be what you classify as social impact. They're both having a positive impact on a profit bottom line, but also a positive impact on the world of how they're doing things. So there's lots of examples of that, and we're super excited to be able to support those types of projects.
You've done some work in the equity crowdfunding space, Regulation CF. What's your take on that landscape?
Absolutely. So that goes all the way back to when we were founded. We actually wanted to start out with offering equity investments right away. We really brushed up against the rules and the laws going back to the Securities Act of 1933. So we had to find out a creative way to get around that. And that's how we came up with the perks model, which is really about pre-orders and such. We then worked with President Obama's administration, and in 2012, we were able to pass the Jobs Act. It took 4 years before it was finally able to go live in the United States. And in 2016, we launched our equity crowdfunding offering. since then, it's been exciting. The limitations on Regulation CF, equity crowdfunding, have stopped, significant growth because, for example, you can only have up to $1 million raised per entity. But what you're seeing now is more of this blockchain supported funding. And even today, we announced our expansion into security tokens, where we actually have a blue chip hotel, which is the St. Regis in Aspen, which has tapped us as their marketing partner to promote the investment opportunity to our audience.
And that'll be a token?
That is a security token. That is correct.
Excellent. And so what do the security token holders in that offering get?
So it's a financial instrument. They're getting, instead of paper shares, they're getting digitized tokens, and they're getting an opportunity to participate in the upside of the actual resort.
So does it represent ownership or a bond interest or a royalty right?
So it's not actually voting rights or anything like that, but you do have a financial interest as it appreciates, or your piece of the resort.
Excellent, excellent. Well, Slava, what are you most proud of having accomplished?
I mean, I would just simplify it to creating Indiegogo is really a remarkable thing. My founders and my co-founders and I, we are so happy that we were able to create something that the world uses with all of its creativity. And the fact that we have created a sustainable company that has employed so many awesome people. Beyond that, I'm proud of the fact that I'm married with 2 kids and they're pretty awesome.
Excellent. Now, Slava, what is the most important lesson you've learned?
So many lessons. Probably one of the most important is you need to learn on your own and not just trust what other people tell you as this is the way it's going to be. Sometimes there's these concepts of reality that are not true, and you just need to, test it on your own to find out what is the real feedback. Then also, just a lot of people are afraid to take risk. And often risk will end up with failure, but I find that failure or success are both good results. A lack of decision is really the enemy. So a lack of decision often is a decision, but knowing the feedback and finding out that it was a poor decision or a good decision is a great result either way. So I would say keep on taking action to step forward and learn from every step along the way. And don't be afraid of failure, but rather look at failure as a learning opportunity.
Slava, you could have done anything when you launched Indiegogo. What intrigued you about this that made you want to do it?
I've always been entrepreneurial since I was younger, and I just thought this was such a big idea, democratizing access to funding. I don't want to put it on the same level of, let's call it, food, shelter, or water, but being able to have access to capital is really something that can empower society. And it just felt like the right time with the democratization of so many things from the internet. Capital was still all about the gatekeeper. My 2 co-founders, Eric and Danae, are both awesome, and I thought that they would be great to work with. And it just felt like a big idea to try to tackle. And actually, it was a big idea, since clearly we're into it still over a decade now, and it's far from solved. It's the onion just keeps on getting peeled back, and there's so many more opportunities and challenges. And that's what's fun, because the learning curve stays steep, and there's a lot of people to still help, and there's a lot of things to still figure out.
Slava, what's your superpower?
My superpower, that's an interesting question. I would say it is being optimistic, trying to believe that anything is possible as long as you just continue to take steps forward and learn. And yeah, that's what I would say.
That's a great superpower.
And maybe storytelling.
Excellent. Excellent. Slava, before you go, and I know you're really busy, can you take just 1 minute and tell people how they can learn more about Indiegogo and how they can connect with you?
Oh, absolutely. So you can just go to Indiegogo.com, Indiegogo.com, and I put out my email for anybody that's interested. It's just my first name, Slava, at Indiegogo.com. And one of the campaigns that we're most excited about right now, and this is really personal to me because I'm an immigrant from Belarus. I came in 1979 when I was a little kid, but we're really proud of the Statue of Liberty campaign that we have right now, which just ended recently. And the Statue of Liberty is actually creating a new museum on the island, which is super exciting. And we were able to get well over 1,000 backers to contribute towards this momentous campaign. And it's just a symbol of the world, a symbol, I think, even for Indiegogo, the idea of democratizing access. America is that, the Statue of Liberty is that, Indiegogo is that. So it's just really a full circle for me. It's such a personal story in terms of the immigration story, and we're excited about that campaign.
Fantastic. Well, thank you, Slava. Really appreciate your time and wish you every success in continuing to help entrepreneurs build successful businesses.
Thank you so much for having me.
All righty, let's do some good.
Thank you for listening. Devin Thorpe's mission is to end extreme poverty, improve global health, and mitigate climate change before 2045 by finding and sharing the stories of those who are doing the most good. You can join with other listeners to accelerate Devin's mission by visiting helpdevin.org right now.